have physically
You have
been in a-
never
Yeah, I've
physically
been in a fight.
fought.
Did you
You
beat
have?
their ass?
We got pulled apart before anybody could win.
Oh. Hi, everybody.
We just got a crazy lore drop on Fitz. You learn something new
We're
about your
talking-
buddies every day.
Fitz woke up
We're
and
talking
chose
about
violence.
physical fights. Yes,
Yeah.
choose violence today on the Pocket Dimension.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of beating people up, if y'all don't like
Yes.
this video, we will
Yeah.
beat you up. We will smother you in love is what we'll
We'll
do.
at least threaten you.
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
physical
we will.
violence.
We believe in positive affirmations here. If you like the video, we will love you
too.
forever. If you don't like the video, we will probably also
We
still
will
love you forever.
positively whip your ass.
I do want the fist fight story. The Fitz fight.
Fitz fight.
Well, get loved, get absolutely treasured. The context of that lore drop is actually kind of sad, so I will save that for when we are not on the air.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fair.
Oh, no.
That's very fair.
Was it Juan Carlos? You just had to give him a beatdown?
No, Juan Carlos is a paladin in our home, protecting all.
That's very
Bernie
true.
peed on the carpet on the rug this morning, and I almost gave him a beatdown.
Bernie, what are you doing,
I was
man?
literally about to take him outside, and I walk into the living room and just like fire hose.
Buddy.
No.
Bernie.
Well-
Dead and old.
Well, everyone, hello.
Well,
If you
anyway.
don't know who we are we are the Pocket Dimension. We are four friends that meet every Friday and talk about all things TTRPG. And
TT.
my name is Matt.
And my name is Allison.
And my name is Evan.
And my name is Fitz.
Fitz fight.
Fitz fight.
That's now
It's
canon.
fun.
Who do we have here with us? Fire Drake was first. I awarded him bragging rights, a firm yet imaginary handshake, and a one-way ticket to our collective admiration for being first. Seth
Yes.
made it. Man, Seth, can I give a shout out to Seth real quick for the name of your most recent video
Yep.
on your channel?
So
Foam wasn't
good.
built in a day. Just chef's kiss there. Amazing.
How many days was foam built in? That's my
Seth has the
follow-up
answer, I'm
question.
sure.
That has the
3.
Yeah.
Jax is here. Jax had a rough week, so everybody send
I
Jax
know.
some
Yeah.
extra
Jax,
I
love.
know.
Can I do
Love,
this? Does this
healing
work?
vibes.
Yeah. It does.
Dan says what vid? When I say like the video, I mean the one that you're watching right now. So
Yeah.
that other people will maybe see it, because or dislike it. Honestly, it does the same thing to the algorithm. Like or
Yeah.
dislike, it's your choice. We'll leave it to you.
Weigh in, baby.
Luis is here.
Open-
Nemo is here. Tabletop Phoenix is
Open
here. Drew is here.
World.
Open World Attic. Dave. Open World Addict. I didn't say that word right, did I?
Attic.
That's
Open
correct.
World
You
Attic.
didn't-
He's just
Ancient.
hiding up in we've got DT's basement and Open World's attic.
Mhm.
We got the whole house covered. And we're the main floor.
Yeah, of course.
Yay. Fun
Before
bunch
we start,
here.
I have to go turn the thermostat down because I'm in an office and it's very random, and now I can tell I'm in an oven today. So
Oh,
I'll be
Kenny
right
Rogers
back.
Roasters?
Sorry. 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm
You know,
Roast
talk amongst
Matthew.
yourselves. Yeah.
that happened to me once when I was driving home from Charleston to Atlanta a few years ago, and there was a freak snowstorm, like blizzard style.
I remember
I
that.
hadn't seen snow like this since I lived in Chicago, and I was driving like in my pea coat and a scarf and a toboggan, and the heat is blasting in the car just to keep the windshield defrosted, and I was dying. I was like, I'm sweating. I can't take my coat off. I'm just white knuckling this, and it was anyway. Welcome back, brother. How was that for
Da, 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 da. That's great. That's good, man.
Thank you so much for that.
Oh man.
Well,
Cool.
What are we
Very
here
nice. Cool.
to
I
talk
like the
about
plot.
today?
I like the plot a lot. Really good
Did you find
character development.
$20?
Yeah.
Very,
All of those things.
What are we talking about today? We are talking about something that I have to be perfectly honest. I don't have. I have very little experience with, but it was inspired by our friend Kai,
Mhm.
who came on to the show the other week, and kind of put us into a Thunderdome situation, a
Thunderdark.
PvP. Thunderdark, thank you. A PvP sitch.
Mhm.
And that just, and then we had a love bombing episode last week.
We're all about balance
So
here at the
y'all-
Pocket Dimension.
Yeah, if you weren't in the cult, so then hopefully you joined into that. But this
Mhm.
week, we thought, well, let's bring it back because it's very interesting. No, Jax. I have tons of experience with assholes, tons, but specifically player versus player and problematic players, right? Those kinds. I get to play with these amazing people. And
Problematic players.
who are not problematic.
Oh, okay.
You
went a different direction.
Even when we've had little tussles, we have worked them out. We're adults. We have safe rules. We do
have a safe word now.
Words. We have safe
What's the safe
words.
word?
Necro
Slushy or Slurpee.
And how do you drop that into casual RP?
You just say it. Like that's the whole point. Is that it?
That's
yeah.
You just drop
whole
it.
point.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
drop
Is that because
Yeah.
it is the interrupter? Like it's the one that makes us all go, oh wait a minute, this is getting
Slurpee.
Slurpee. And then you're right. We're gonna walk away from this for a minute.
Our resident AI Fitz did some research.
Artificial.
Went out there.
That's right.
Natural
All
intelligence.
Natural, baby.
Natural intelligence. She's our resident.
Yeah.
I was thinking
natural.
Anna intelligence.
Oh,
Oh.
good. Oh, I like that a
I
lot.
like it.
But whatever.
There
It's
it
cool. It's cool.
Who's
it's cool.
Anna?
I think he just
Who
called you a
is Anna?
droid, but anything but. Got it. Okay.
Take it. Got it.
We're very spirited today. But Fitz, you came with a lot of research, and you and Allison specifically have examples that you have that not only has there been PvP, but also some
Between the two of us.
feelings. So I can't wait to hear the stories.
Yeah.
on
Who are
all
you
this
gonna out today?
Well, the only
Probably
other than last week, the only PvP that we have ever experienced was one between that Fitz and I were both in, and Fitz killed my character.
Right.
Eliminated
There
me.
it is.
And so we'll tell the very brief lore drop was, and one of the points we're going to make, because like we said, this did start with like, wow, Kai did a really great job. I think one thing, if you are going to GM some kind of PvP battle, have environmental challenges, like make that a part of it, or like really great NPCs or things like that to maybe kind of like lessen the load. And so what happened was what happened was this was a years-long campaign we were running in Exandria, and Fitz had a twin brother in the campaign. And I think it was like luck of the dice, unluck of the draw, however, like, so where I think there were 6 of us, and where he literally dropped us into the arena, my character was dropped right next to Fitz and her twin.
Oops.
Yeah.
And so I think if I had been like positioned elsewhere on the map, I might have stood up, because we were like level high teen something. I was a druid, so I was pretty unstoppable, or so I thought. I came in like thinking like I'm gonna rule this roost, and was out first, just gone, dead, because it was 2-on-1, And like I said, that was just where I happened to be dropped. It might have been a different story. So there's our lesson, our first lesson. Just be cognizant of that. If there's like bonds between 2 players and they're going to gang up on another one, maybe arrange the board differently. But I want to say we may have rolled for where we started. I honestly don't remember.
We might have. I think you also, unfortunately, suffered from not being able to beat the initiative of the monk.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that too. So like, initiative, you got dropped in a bad spot. Initiative. So yeah, I mean, if you're DMing a PvP, it's good to, I think, really, really think about that kind of stuff, like, placing people in different spots environmentally and whatever. But also, sometimes it's just luck of the draw, like you might roll to get plopped down next to the monk and their twin brother, and that's it. Even if you're a 17th level druid, you're out at 5,000. That's just...
Lights out on Sora. And that's really the only PvP that I've experienced in a game or campaign other than last week, 2 weeks ago.
I think VA Ezralaren. There it is.
Nicely done.
VA has a good point about most of these situations is about somebody crossing boundaries, knowingly or not, right? And I think it really does help to know that, for example, Allison, you can absolutely disagree, but I would consider you a more play-to-win player. Evan, on the other hand, would be play to lose. And we know
play for fun. I'm playing for fun. It's not my fault if dying is fun, okay?
Exactly. I also play for fun. Winning is fun.
Right.
It is
sure.
fun.
That's why I'm an Alabama fan. Come at me, bros.
Yeah. But we know that about each other. Each other. And so it that helps immensely.
Yeah.
Out of the gate. But
So Fitz has prepared a lovely. We haven't seen it, we just know. But I wanted to start out with. So we asked we love to ask our Discord community things because they know infinitely more than we do, and we learned that again and again with the Dragon tournament. We should have just asked y'all, right? So we were like, let's start an "Am I the Asshole" thread in our Discord community. The problem is that everybody in our community is just too lovely, so none of them have "Am I the Asshole." None of them are assholes. So do better, you guys. Yes. So Seth, our sweet, sweet Seth, who we love very much, just told us the most darling story. I think this would be a great starting point to launch us into this discussion that I'd like to read really quickly as an idea, especially if you're running for youngins. Seth says, I've surprisingly never played in a PvP or run a PvP game, though I'd truly love to. Challenge accepted in the Thunderdark, Seth. However, when I was running Intro to Dungeons & Dragons games at my local comic shop, I often had kids trying to PvP each other and had to shut that shit down almost every session. My go-to was, okay, go ahead and roll to hit. Okay. As you swing your axe, a brilliant blue light bursts forth as it collides with an arcane barrier. A booming voice enters your mind. You dare attempt to strike your own companion? Or something of that nature. Beautifully done.
Divine intervention.
Okay. Yep, they're friends.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so twee.
Would you consider having them settle it over the table?
What you mean?
Physical fight.
Physical Fight Club.
Yeah.
Fight Club.
Yeah.
First rule of Fight Club, though, is we don't talk about Fight Club, so we would never know.
So you just take them down into the cellar, the storage room of the comic book shop, and then
DT's house.
Down into
it all comes back around to DT's basement.
There's a circle.
Yeah, oh boy, this is getting real dark.
I don't know.
It's getting real dark.
Thunderdark.
I'm going to pivot away from this real quick.
I
think
Thank you.
There are two scenarios. Before we dive into my PowerPoint, I do also want to point out there tends to be two scenarios with PvP. One of which being the arena kind of brawl, which people set up and know about coming into. And then there's PvP like what Seth described, where it just sort of happens in
Devolves.
Two very different scenarios. And I will say that even with an arena situation, I think every table that decides that they want to do it shouldn't take it lightly. You got to be very conscious of who is at the table. Is it going to be fun for everybody? And to have ground rules going in, you can't just decide to do a PvP battle, especially if you maybe have some spicy people at the table, and have that DM set up some fun things outside of you guys just hitting each other. Right? Environmental encounters, NPCs, weird interplay alliances, anything to make it where it's not just Fight Club.
So what you're saying, Fitz, is that PvP is not necessarily GM's week off, which is maybe how a lot of GMs could look at that.
Oh,
yes, exactly. PvP, if you want a good example, Kai with our dragon fight came in with some very fun environmental stuff, which they also revealed to us afterwards we only saw like 5% of what Kai had planned. Like
know.
that map got wild. So
Yeah.
Plan some fun things that are outside of just the players fighting each other. Have some map interaction. Anyways, I have brought a presentation today.
Nice font. This is the perfect asshole font.
Yeah, look,
it is.
I've gone back to. I tried Canva with the Valentine's Day one. It was too much for me. I got to go back to my assholery Comic Sans on a black screen. All right, I got to go back to what you know.
I see your Comic Sans, but the day you bring Papyrus out.
The only reason that I stand behind Comic Sans is that it is the most accessible.
Yep.
So, we're accessibility buddies here.
There it is. I love it.
I have created the following PowerPoint.
Oh my God,
PvP.
Fitz. Hold on, because we've now invoked the name of Mario Kart from our best friend VA to elaborate on this point.
God,
PvP areas are the equivalent of playing Mario Kart with friends. It can be. Fitz and I have so much fun playing Mario Kart together, though.
We do.
But I also.
But it's violent.
But I also know a pecking order. I am never going to beat Fitz at Mario Kart. I'm aware of it. I've stopped trying. If I can get second place, I'm happy. Second place is my first place.
Attack each other in Mario Kart?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because you pick up the things on the track and you hurl, the mushroom or not the mushroom. Yeah, well, you can do mushrooms and the turtle shells and send the bombs and fireballs.
Sounds delicious.
Oh, it's fun as hell. Especially when they're like right at the finish line and you just throw a shell at them.
Oh,
so great. Blue shells, babies, and jacks. So, sorry to interrupt you, but I knew you would really love that reference. Fitz.
I do. Because, especially you and I, we are Mario Kart fanatics. Okay, so I have brought today how to lose acquaintances and be labeled an asshole on Reddit, player versus player style. All right. In my diligent research, I have uncovered that the following equation seems to be true in general when speaking about a PvP situation devolving into a nightmare. Okay, we have a negligent DM combined with it's what my character would do assholery, plus above table, out of character beef or issues with the table. You get any sort of combination of that, and you've got a PvP apocalypse. All right. Now,
perfect.
Taking this into account, can we predict when a conflict will erupt? Science says no. However, science says no. We cannot predict. But
science.
And that is because each of these variables can be weighted on a sliding scale, anywhere from a serious offender to a closet nut job, therefore having an effect on said timeline. But there is one consistent. Paladins are, in fact, the X factor in this case, okay? If there is a paladin in the party, you can expect the oncoming storm to arrive faster and with more assholery than in any other party composition.
Really?
Okay.
Facts.
Explain.
Yes.
There's something about the paladin that people, whether it's the holdover of the lawful goodness from earlier editions or just being that like white knight who has to, I don't know, be in charge and valorous or whatever, they just like to swing their big dicks around is what I was trying to get a void from saying. But there's like some energy there that
calls it like he sees it.
There's an energy there that tends to be an X factor in PvP issues. So I've brought 2 case studies for us to look at.
I love that you brought case studies. Can I also say real quick, I don't know that we've ever talked about it on this show. So you don't like them anyways. Oh no.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
We have talked at great length IRL and on Matt and my podcast ADHD 20 about like what we eat, the 4 of us are IRL.
Oh, yeah.
I have been labeled the paladin. So is everything that you just said about me IRL?
No, because you do not fall here's the thing. There is a subsect of paladins, including yourself, that do not fall into this category.
Okay.
We're talking about the paladins who have other variables in their personality, which are faults, that cause issues. Okay. I think this this case study might be enlightening for you. Okay. Because right out of the bat, I was playing a paladin who is gregarious and belligerent, and one of my friends, a cleric, who is sneaky, literally marked as evil. So we've got a paladin who's belligerent and a cleric who's marked as evil. Good combo here.
Jeff, is that you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have had arguments both in and out of character because of different play methods and character choices before. We definitely had problems with each other's characters and each other. Red flag. For reference, my character was the one to hire out an entire brothel, while hers was the one that shanked a madam after failing to intimidate her. We also have 3 other players who don't matter in this story. That also feels like a red flag.
Yeah.
We have
What
3
does
other
that
players
even
at
mean?
the table. They don't matter. Okay. We were
Great.
facing a mind flayer, a mind controlling enemy with the rest of our party. It targets me because my character is a big and dumb and in the front. It controls me and I fail to save, so I pretty much have to do what it says now. Most dungeon masters would take the character and use it until control ends, but mine gives us more leeway and trusts us to play it right. Red flag. Here's the part where I may be the asshole. I didn't like my friend's character. So when the monster orders me to kill my teammates, I go for the closest one, her. I roll high and use my highest spell slots and end up killing her character outright. I did not like the character and figured this was as good a chance as any to get rid of it because that's what I was ordered to do.
It. God, yeah. Wow. Okay.
And what may put me as even more of an asshole, the spell I used to kill her was my last spell of that kind. I used my last spell that could have revived her to kill her instead, mainly so she would stay dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are the asshole.
You are the asshole. The DM definitely thought it was overkill, and she was a bit pissed too. Yeah, you think? My defense is that my character was mind controlled and ordered to do it, and she was the closest enemy to me. So I did my best to fulfill the Mind Flayer's orders, but I definitely went harder than I could have. So there was
What was the spell? I want to know was it like power?
I don't know. They did not specify the spell.
But
so
yeah, it could have been that
or
disintegrate or yeah.
Could have been I don't know. But let's go over what we've identified from this situation. First of all, first red flag, paladin. Okay. Second red flag. The DM used a monster ability to make a PC attack on the party in a group with above table beef. So the DM did not knew the situation, knew that these 2 had beef, and just didn't take that into account.
That's been proven that the DM knew that there was beef.
Well, I mean, maybe that's assuming, except for there was quite a number of mentions in this story that those 2 characters had problems with each other. Okay. Yeah, so DM, the DM
open your eyes.
Yeah, was either blissfully ignorant or I don't know. Lastly, the PC using this as an excuse to target a friend's character that they admit to disliking.
Yeah, that's
that's
so.
Yeah.
Here we have the X factor. We've got the DM negligence. We have the my character would do this because it's been mind controlled. And we also have, what was the third thing on my thing? I forgot my own equation. Oh, above the table beef. And there was above the table beef. So we had
where's the beef? It's above the table.
It's above the table.
All the components were fulfilled. Yeah.
All the components were fulfilled.
PvP apocalypse.
PvP apocalypse. So we have one more case study. This one, let me tell you, if you decide to type in the link for that source.
I want to play at that table.
Let me tell you, no, you don't.
I think I just forgot hives thinking about it.
Ground rules are for losers.
It is. Let me tell you, it was like reading War and Peace.
Are you sure this was Reddit or was this 4chan?
Sometimes it feels like the same place, let me tell you. I have read some truly heinous things that people have done at their tables this week.
So we do have a couple of chats coming in on this.
Yes,
we want to, I love Dan's here. I don't see an issue with this. Oh no, am I the asshole? Dan, no. People who live in Alaska can't be assholes. It's proven.
That's right.
Yeah. I love Jax's comment. That DM is like Jeff Probst stirring the pot for funsies. You love a host, you love a reality show. And then Seth says this feels like a D&D court case, which is kind of the inspiration for all of this.
I was just about to say, definitely inspiration.
Way to pick. And then there's just a lot of like chaos. I love Fire Drake, not every paladin.
Look, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's not every paladin, which feels gross to say. Not every paladin, AK included. It's just, like I said, tends to be an X factor. When you have these other variables in play, it tends to be an X factor.
I need clarification on something, Fitz.
Yes.
Are you saying that paladins, their behavior is problematic only in PvP scenarios, and that's where it comes out? Or paladins are problematic all the time?
No, paladins are not problematic all the time. However, in a table in which there are already some of these other things in play that could cause table drama, whether it's PvP or someone leaving or fights, big feelings. Let's call it big feelings. On a table in which there could be big bad feelings. A paladin being one of the player characters tends to be the spark that ignites the flames on a horror show. So I think that there are two types of people.
And they're just too righteous.
Paladins.
They're just very righteously driven.
I think it's the people who think that they're righteous.
The rent-a-cop vibe.
The rent-a-cop. Thank you, Matt. Yes, illness. It's the people. Yeah. It's the rent-a-cop illness. Yes.
Mm-hmm. But I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. If you have another follow-up.
Well, I was just going to offer a way to solve this case study, like how they could have resolved that.
Yes, let's be productive.
Gumshoe Bivens on the case. Let's go.
Yeah.
So what I would do if I were the game master is I would have a whole slew of LARPing gear at the ready. So when this problem arises, we're going to settle it in world. Get out your LARPing gear, and you're going to fight. You're going to fight physically.
That's like a theme here.
Not to hurt, not to maim, not to actually cause permanent damage, but there will be a scoring system, and you will fight it out physically.
Yeah.
And whoever loses is out of the game. Friend group or like out of the friend group forever.
No.
Yeah, you know what? I love that we could give constructive ways in which to handle situations that these people found themselves in. But no, I like this instead. Let's LARP. That's the advice.
Yeah, it's always the answer.
Yeah, man. Look, what I do in therapy is a big part of it is like externalizing what's inside, right?
Yes.
And so you put it out into 3D, and then you saw all of those feelings and those emotions, they take shape, and then you can interact with it.
Yes.
So you just do that with each other, and you enroll the other player, the other person that you're LARPing with, you enroll them as, whatever, your mom or your dad.
Nemo has found a way to yes and the hell out of you, Evan.
Okay.
Yeah.
LARPing here, but
okay.
What was
and then Jax has called out a something that I also said. This is the second time in the video Evan Bivens has suggested a physical fight to settle a PvP. Blink twice if you need help. And what y'all might not have heard in our opening faff was us talking about if the four of us were in a physical PvP, and we all, I don't know if Evan voted for Evan, but the rest of us did. And I was very clear that I would be first out because I freeze. So I would just So Evan, I think if it came down to that, if you'd be the big winner.
Yeah, I think so. I think so because and I think this case study loops into that because they claim that they're friends. They claim that they're best friends with this other person, but they hate this other person's character so much that they want to murder it. So are you really friends? Why don't you just go? Why don't you fight it out?
I don't know that I've ever felt that way. That way about my friends' characters. Like I'm trying to think of it. Like there have definitely been people that I haven't liked IRL and then therefore have not liked their character. That's definitely happened to me. But I don't know that I've hated any of my friends' characters. That's
maybe did you not like Evan's character that barfed?
I didn't like that he barfed, but I did. But the character itself was freaking hilarious. I just wish he would stop barfing on me.
You know what? I have one other thought here, and I feel like we have limited perspective on this, which is really just from the standpoint of the person who's concerned that they are the asshole. I would like to hear from the other people at the table. Did they rejoice when they killed the other character? Did everybody hate that character and was so glad that they were dead? Or were people shocked? I mean, what?
Right.
I need more information here.
Here's the thing, Evan, though. Very clearly stated at the beginning of this story, we learned that there are 3 other players who don't matter.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah. So
I think you could have actually stopped this case study right there and answered the question, am I the asshole?
There you
go. Yeah.
But we're taking it to court.
Oh man.
Also, whose voices are annoying? Ours? Players in general? T-Dog, what's up?
What's up, buddy?
Say more. Say less. I don't know.
It's me.
Yeah, say more.
It's my voice. It's always annoying. Sorry, T-Dog.
It's mine too.
I like that your name is T-Dog,
wait till T-Dog hears Bud and Her, and then I'll really...
Yeah, T-Dog.
Whose voice is the best? What are you talking about? I'll PvP anybody who says otherwise.
Come on, T-Dog, let's LARP. I'm going to whoop your ass with LARP.
Poor T-Dog is probably talking about something we already forgot we said, and now we're threatening them.
Sorry, T-Dog, you're great. You're wonderful.
He said players. Well, he said no, the players, so that makes sense. Yeah, like if they have a voice that's annoying and that grates on you week after week, I could so see that. Okay. Yeah.
See, I feel like I am that annoying voice at the table often, though.
No.
So maybe a lot of people want
your
to
voices. All voices are annoying. We should switch to sign language.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We should just stare longingly into each other's eyes and convey messages telepathically.
I'm down for that. I've been stretching that muscle myself. So let's anytime y'all are ready. Justice for T-Dog.
Drew. Justice for T-Dog. Look, I'm sorry. T-Dog. We take it all back. I'm not going to fight you with LARP. I'm going to hug you in a LARP.
Yes.
Great.
Is that better?
In a huge foam outfit, just in case you're uncomfortable with.
Exactly. One of those sumo those really ethnically problematic sumo outfits. AK, I want to upvote what you said. I have never been at a table where I've felt that strongly about someone's character, or really, I've been lucky enough to not feel that strongly about the people as well. But if you didn't, I mean, I guess you can reach a point where you just you can't interact. You just everything that person chooses to do with their character just shuts you down. So who knows?
Yeah.
We don't have those details, but
when
life gives you lemons,
pass the tequila.
Chuck them at your enemies.
I have a quick. I know that you've got more case studies, and I want to get to those, but I do have a quick side. There was a game that we all played where I had to work very hard to keep one of the players that y'all only eventually discovered really just wanted to be evil. I had to constantly kind of manipulate this player into not killing everyone all the time.
Right.
And it was exhausting. And I'm not, I didn't, I was a new GM and I did not want to say, no, you cannot be evil in this campaign. You can't. So I said yes. And it was a terrible idea. Now, it could work if you're a better GM, maybe. It could work if you are something. But there were so many things that could have gone incredibly wrong and still weren't great in my mind.
Yeah.
So it's also tough in that situation.
Yeah.
That was
You guys
another
figure it
thing.
out.
To be evil characters, you know?
Yeah. Well,
What drives people? Yeah.
what drives them? I did
Boredom? I don't
see
know.
that as being another kind of consistent issue that came up at tables that I was reading
Yeah.
about, was that one or more
Yes.
players were an evil alignment. I will say that yes, it does cause problems. One of these days, though, I would like to attempt it without being an asshole and just see what there is to discover. I know that there is a way to make it work that could still be fun and functional, but I feel like 98% of the time when you get someone who's an evil alignment at the table, it's just to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it feels like an automatic no but in the improv of things. If like if everyone else is neutral or above,
right,
then you're just coming to be contrary. So is the only way for it to work is for everyone to be evil? Because then you're all on the same plane.
Maybe.
See,
Drew's
Escape
got
from
something.
Bloodkeep. See the Escape from Bloodkeep Dimension 20 game for an example of that going well. What does Drew say?
And I think that I would be more interested if it was, or like we've talked about many times on this, like if there was a session 0 that like effectively established some boundaries. But that's part of the problem is a lot of times the evil people don't want to, those playing the evil characters, don't want to come out and tell it. Like they want that to be the thing that's discovered in world.
Yeah.
Which I also kind of understand that like that's part of the fun of something sometimes is having like something that you want your party to discover by way of role playing. So I don't know, playing an evil character and being part of a team is difficult, but it can be done. I did it with Gulbert, which was a really fun one shot we did last year. But you have to be intentional about being more selfish without being directly evil. And Drew did that incredibly well. So all of the moves Drew made in character served Gulbert's higher purpose and their plight. Instead of like, I'm just going to try and kill my party, which is what Matt was describing.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. 100%.
So,
you've given me some good character ideas.
Yeah. I would seriously be down for like a little throwdown where we all bring an evil, maybe not like a full campaign, but like a little mini arc of like 4 to 6 sessions where we all just like balls to the walls evil it. I'm down.
Yeah. Play the baddies.
Yeah. Balls to the wall.
Yeah, and Tabletop Phoenix, everything we're saying, you need the right crew.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Kai saying session 0. Yeah, it does come down to that. So
session year 0.
Yeah.
Okay. Case study number 2. Fitz. Hit us.
Number 2. So this one, I must admit, this was reading a friggin' novel, and I cut it down as much as possible to get the skeleton of it. But stick with me here because it is a doozy.
Are we going to cringe hard?
Maybe. All right. So this is how we start off. Our DM is a largely hands-off type of DM, red flag, who doesn't like to exert too much authority and prefers to insert us into an area, set the scene, and add some plot hooks, and generally leave us to our own devices. Sounds like lazy GMing to me. He's usually quite fair with the few rulings he does make when needed, but he typically doesn't like throwing his weight around as the rules boss too much. All right, so we're already set up for failure. In the beginning, there wasn't all that much interpersonal in the beginning.
That was what I was laughing at.
There wasn't all that much interpersonal conflict or drama within the party. When the monk joined, however, petty little arguments and disagreements within the party started to be a lot more common. Oftentimes, these were simply the result of the monk being overly honest and to the point by saying something in an incredibly blunt way that would either be misinterpreted by the rest of the party or would actively annoy them. However, some of these moments also felt rather spiteful and disruptive, such as the monk routinely insulting other party members' intelligence, constantly criticizing them for their mistakes, and getting into shouting matches about what is and isn't the correct course of action. As an example,
red flag.
The monk, wait for it, this is 15,000 red flags. As an example, the monk frequently refers to the party as morons for not agreeing with him and has threatened the bard with physical violence on multiple occasions simply for being overly friendly and chatty with him, and has accused a number of allied NPCs of being evil and needing to be killed on somewhat flimsy pretexts such as believing they might be a devil in disguise.
Matt, I want to hear Matt. Okay. Whatever you got the giggles over, I want to hear about it.
Oh, I don't know. I was just thinking about somebody, we've been joking about physically fighting at the table. This person's actually getting angry. And And the demon thing actually sounds like maybe the real life player has some mental
stuff
issues
going on. Yeah. And let me also, one of the things I cut, but for context, this table is a group of friends who have been friends for over 20 years. So they have known each other since high school. Okay. I cut that part out because it was at a big other preliminary thing we didn't need. Okay. But just for context, these guys have known each other for decades. All right. So fast forward.
But not liked.
But not liked, apparently. Loved, but not liked. Yeah. Fast forward to our most recent session. I had to miss the preceding session due to being ill. My paladin has been knocked out, disarmed, captured, and locked in a cage off screen after running off ahead of the party. This was an outcome I anticipated and had no problem with. This was just how they were explaining him being sick, I guess. And the bard and the monk found him in the cage as the session began. The bard was magically disguised as a completely different person that my paladin didn't recognize, and the monk was dressed in the robes of the dragon cult to infiltrate the cultist hideout where my paladin was being held. When my paladin demanded to know what was going on, the monk simply answered, "I've joined the cult," and didn't make any effort to free my paladin from the cage, saying he was going to use me as bait. When the two warlocks, so we're going great here, folks. When the two warlocks eventually showed up and saw what was happening, our celestial warlock rushed over to immediately let me out. Cue the monk having a very sudden and angry outburst at the warlock for ruining the plan and proceeding to punch her in the face at full force. The monk's player... Yeah. Wow. The monk's player didn't ask the warlock's player or the DM first if this was okay, immediately rolled for the attack and the damage before the warlock's player even registered what was happening, and tried to justify it later as it being a combination of both the monk trying to maintain his cultist disguise and venting his frustrations at the infiltration mission starting to go wrong. My paladin, seeing his closest friend and ally take a nasty hit from a party member who he's butted heads with for months, and as far as he was aware at that very moment had betrayed the party and joined with the cultists, was rightly furious and immediately took a swing at the monk as soon as he was freed from the cage. For further context, this is where it gets really messed up. The warlock is also the youngest, most inexperienced, and most unambiguously good character in the party, effectively being the baby of the team, and the monk is significantly older than her. So in universe, it was effectively like watching a middle-aged man assault a teenager.
Ooh.
Bad pictures. bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was real bad.
The fight quickly ended with some damage thrown back at my paladin by the monk, and the situation was mostly smoothed over by the bard and the other warlock, allowing the session to carry on as planned. When I confronted the monk's player about this afterwards in our group chat for the campaign and suggested to the party that we agree on some ground rules about PvP going forward to ensure an incident like this never happens again, his immediate response was, "Absolutely not." When the warlock's player chimed in to say that they would have also liked that that they had some warning before his PC was attacked, and that the group needs to be more careful about PvP going forward, the monk's player refused to budge. In his eyes, the attack was all in aid of the story and was justified for RP reasons. Once again, falling back on, that's what my character would do without actually saying it. And he refused to agree to even the tiniest restrictions on PvP, arguing that no one should ever have to ask for permission or pause live roleplay before deciding to attack another PC. He even threatened to quit the campaign. Good go, is my opinion. Like, go. He even threatened to quit the campaign in protest if the rest of the group agreed to setting any kind of ground rule, and that even if he didn't quit or get kicked out, he would refuse to comply with any agreed upon restrictions on PvP. As an addendum, so far the DM has not weighed in on the issue or made an official ruling about it, and when the incident actually occurred, he took no action to try to stop it.
Oh.
So what have we learned from this case study?
All right. Let me just say,
where do we start?
I want to say this very seriously, though. If anyone watching this, either now or in the future, if anybody watching this hears that story and it's like, wow, yeah, that happened to me, please come talk to us. Come talk to us. Yes. You actually probably need therapy. You need a community that is much better than the one that you're in. That is
games with us.
That is really truly
toxic.
It's toxic, and it is so frustrating because I do know people who tried D&D or tried games and said, "Oh, but it's terrible." And I bet you that they just happened into a really bad gaming table, and just was like, "Oh yeah,
but these people knew each other for 20
basement
years.
Dwelling nerds." What?
But these people knew each other for 20 years.
That is just whoa.
Yeah. I mean, this would be so much more. You're totally right, though, brother. Like, this would make so much more sense if these were strangers at a table.
Yeah.
And they were like, wow, I'm completely blindsided.
Yeah.
But, okay, I have a couple of terms that just immediately pop to mind. Antisocial behavior, borderline personality. Let's just keep, whatever. Like, whether it's, I'm not saying this actual person has these conditions, but it sounds like they certainly went to great lengths to make their character be like this, and then tried to justify it. Like, that's just abusive.
Yeah.
Okay. But my ire, though, yes to everything that you just said, Evan, but my ire is actually as much, if not more, with the GM in the scenario than it is the player.
Sure.
Like, the player is clearly problematic for a number of reasons, but like, it is the GM's job to protect the emotional safety and rules of the table and enforce that, even if that means having really hard. I'm getting all choked up. No, I'm not. Even if that means having really difficult conversations with really difficult players. So while player clearly in the wrong, not pointing fingers there, but like GM, what are you doing?
Where were you?
Yeah.
Where
were you, buddy? Well,
I mean,
know
maybe
exactly
they were really intimidated
were.
by this person. They couldn't.
Yeah.
Maybe. But
and it should go both ways. Yeah.
Whatever. I do what I want. Yeah. Sorry.
The players should be also allowed and willing to go to the GM.
Yeah.
We've had to do that before.
Well, it's a lack of trust. Obviously, if the GM didn't do anything about it, if and the players brought up that, hey, we want to change, we want rules, we want something, and the DM has still not weighed in that there is needs are not being met in this group. Period.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys were hitting all of the things that I found. But I'm very glad about this.
Came back.
Plot twist: for once, the paladin wasn't a factor. The paladin was the good guy in this situation.
Right?
It can happen.
But still involved. Still a factor.
The paladin was involved, but they did their best to, especially after the fact, touch base with the group. Basically, the paladin in this situation was acting like the GM should have, which was trying to touch base with everybody, make sure things were good, try to fix the situation for next time so that it didn't happen again, or at least not like this. Meanwhile, homeboy DM was out for cigarettes and never came back. Like, what is the DM doing?
Yeah. And that's, Rabbit says here, I'd argue it's everyone's responsibility, but if none come forward. And I think that's the part that I'm sticking with. Like, clearly it was becoming, for whatever reasons, better or worse, where the players were not feeling comfortable. And I'd argue that it is the GM's job in noticing that they're, even if nobody wants to create like a tattle circle, But being aware enough of what's going on at the table and the party dynamics to say something's not sitting right here. Something is rotten in the state of Barovia or wherever you're playing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this one really got me mad.
Yeah. I mean,
that's terrifying.
You got to imagine in this Reddit thread that you've just scratched the surface of crazy table behavior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's a lot going on in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Including
what
Matt.
People have to say.
Including Matt calling me out for finding new friends, which I did. I've done that. I'm here standing on the other side of it for saying it was weird in the moment to realize that, like, we don't always have to be friends with everybody for all of our lives. We can come and go. But Dave says, and I think we're all saying this, that's what my character would do. Just like that phrase in and of itself feels
huge red flag.
like a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Nemo says
feels
no one
super gaslighty.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No one has to ask for permission. What else did we say? I think we've covered a lot of it.
Yeah.
VA is dropping some bangers on us today. There are some very different exceptions about what a TTRPG is and whether, and that's where I think we've even shared on the show, we've had a session ReZero before where when you notice that things are maybe going off the rails a little bit, like just having can we just have a talk sesh today instead of playing? Where's everybody's heads at? Like, what are y'all feeling? What are you liking? What are you not? I think we have long used either hearts and stars or stars and wishes, whatever you want to, at our table for a long, long time, both in one shots and our home table. What are you giggling at, Matt?
Well, just no one calls it hearts and stars. I'm the only one on the planet that.
You're someone. You're not no one. Stars and garters, whatever it is.
I love calling it stars and garters.
So I remember watching, I think it was on one of Jenny D's ADHD videos, talking about stars and wishes is actually a really powerful tool to elicit that ongoing feedback from players. So that way you can kind of find out maybe where the little undercurrents of bubbling up drama could be. Based on what people wish for or what they're repeatedly calling out. I mean, I would notice at a table if there was one player that consistently never got any stars or hearts or garters or whatever we're calling them, tsunamis. I would be like, wow, why is Bilbo never lauded by the party? Is there,
right?
That would make my spidey senses tingle.
That's real good.
Yeah. Well. Folks,
because Bilbo's a terrible character, terrible player, and doesn't deserve a seat at the table.
Yeah,
that's right.
And sometimes you can be.
Am I the asshole?
Man, you got wishes more maiming. Poor Bilbo. Everything that gets said is just, poor Bilbo. More maiming. Man, okay. you guys are all in on this Fight Club idea. So Nemo, Evan, DT, Drew, let us know how it goes for you. Invite us to your Thunderdome.
I'm ready. I'm stepping in.
Yeah.
Can we recommend Kai to GM? Do you have what do you call a GM IRL? The referee?
We call there's no need for a GM because as
lightning bolt.
Well, yeah, ground rules are for losers.
That's true.
As we've learned today.
Established.
Yeah.
Right.
That is the takeaway from today's rules are for losers.
DT, no one gets invited to the basement. Sorry. They just wake
thank you for putting this together, Fitz.
Yes.
I found this to be fascinating.
Of course.
And,
golf claps.
Yes. I guess because it's truly, I know that this, in all seriousness, I know that this behavior is real because, safety rules or tables are real for a reason. I just have never experienced it. So it doesn't feel real to me. Obviously, it has been real for plenty of people. Mm-hmm. And that's messed up. We're all just playing a game, y'all. What's going on?
Right.
I mean, I've certainly experienced if it was for playing at public tables alone, I would have thought that D&D sucked, because I have found myself, which is why I love that we do what we do, and I love that Tabletail did what it did, which was offering people a safe and fun place for everybody to come and play. But I have gone to in-person games and felt rage deep within my soul because of the other people at the table, and I walked away. I had that in my control. And especially, it's one thing, I think, if you're friends who've been together for 20 years and you're also happen to play D&D, and there's this weird thing happens, or there's bad vibes, and you have to work it out if you want to continue being friends. It's another thing if it's a table that you just roll up to play. I felt empowered of I went this one time and it was just bad vibes. It was bad vibes all the way down. And I was empowered enough to say, you know what, it's not for me. And I just didn't come back. But had I not had other games to play or spaces in which to continue playing D&D, I might not have come back.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think that happens to a lot of people, that they end up on that table the first go around, and that's what they think the game is like.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I also feel like I say a lot personally, look, you can, this is a place, if you're in the right group, to work out things that you need to work out, to take on characters and play them in a way. And if it is a therapeutic thing for you, yes. So I am also guilty of saying that too, but you can absolutely take that way too far. GMs and that. And it is, you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose. You want to get the best possible chance when you're sitting down to a game.
It just struck me that there must be tables out there that are like Dick's Last Resort or whatever, where it's the point is to go there and be the biggest dick you could possibly be. And everybody wants that. They're all masochists.
Yeah.
And sadists.
Sure. Murder hobo, it's a real thing.
Go find that table. More power
y'all, to you. Based on the Reddit rabbit hole I went down this week, I can absolutely guarantee that those tables exist. Those groups are many.
Okay. I want to be a fly on the wall. I want to be a fly on the wall.
I don't know that you do.
And if you enjoy that, no shade, no shame. As long as it's all agreed upon and as healthy as it can be. Sure. But I do kind of want to be a weird voyeur and just watch people sit in the corner eating popcorn and watch people, just F each other up.
Just be
the nerds version of Real Housewives. You know what? That's what the actual play space is missing. Yes. We're missing a reality show of a bad table and their interpersonal conflict.
That would do so well. In fact, I had a real Bravo problem for a while there before I found D&D, and there was an actual Thunderdome in all of the different Facebook groups and fan gatherings of just so much drama between not only the housewives but those in the circles and following them, and it was literally referred to as the Thunderdome. I mean, I know Thunderdome is applied to many different things outside of just TTRPGs, but it was really funny the first time I ran into it in the wild of something being called the Thunderdome based on reality TV drama. I was just clutches pearls about it. So
Fitz, I'm going to upvote that real hard, and that's going to be the first produced ongoing TV series that we're going to pitch to the Oxygen channel.
Love it.
Or Bravo.
No, I've gotten real sucked into the show. I got out of reality TV for a while, but I'm real obsessed with The Traitors right now, only because of Alan Cumming. And it's in Scottish Highlands, and it's so good. Skip season 1, just watch seasons 2 and the one going on right now. Okay. But I almost want to take a Traitors style mafia game and put a TTRPG D&D spin on it and have Alan Cumming whittle waddle in his fabulous outfits. I would watch that all day, every day. So I'm yes-anding your yes and.
Game?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh
my gosh. He sings everything.
Yes. Oh God, I love him so much.
Sexy.
If I thought that we could get him to do it, I have people I could ask who could contact him, but I don't know that he would do that.
I'm like 1 degree of separation from Alan Cumming.
Y'all are holding out on me.
We should both hit up our 1 degrees and see if we can get out.
I'm so into this. If we could go to a castle in the Scottish Highlands and have Alan Cumming GM our Thunderdome with the Real Housewives of wherever involved, all of my dreams are coming true right now.
He probably does have a castle.
He says I don't know. I did find out though that on the traders they don't actually sleep in the castle. They stay at hotels, and that really bugs me. I'm really upset about that. It's ruined a lot of the magic for me.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. You can't LARP if you're not in a castle, man.
That's right. That's exactly right.
DT says pitch it to sci-fi. They do everything but sci-fi.
That's true. That or the History Channel. I just had a thought. I think I've come up with our next produced content.
Real Housewives of
GM coming soon. Okay, yes, and this is what we're gonna call it. All right, I'm thinking we do a The Office crossover with Housewives crossover D&D, and we just it's not.
I'm in.
Say less. That way, it's it's still a scripted show, but it is fully the Real Housewives D&D style.
So what you're saying is there's just going to be a million points where we're all going to turn to camera.
Yeah.
And do that.
Yeah.
I love it.
We need the fourth wall break.
Yeah.
And the show is problematic players and just us reacting like flies on the wall popcorn. We're on the other side of the mirror, the thing that looks like a mirror, but it's really a
I'm saying we play the problematic characters.
Also fine.
And then it's us spilling the tea on the fake tea on each other.
Is this sort of what the guild is about?
Is it? I've never watched the guild. Did I just pitch the guild?
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Tay did say it.
Mentioned.
Damn it!
It's kind of what the guild is.
I don't know what the guild is. Can somebody educate me?
Never watched it.
Or
I can go Google it.
Felicia Day's first claim to fame, right? It was kind of one of the first big web series that were successful.
It wasn't about tabletop games, but it was about World of Warcraftian.
That's right. But they were kind of LARPing, right? Weren't they always in costume?
Well,
no?
I mean,
I don't know.
They did a lot of. I think that world was kind of similar to tabletop in that there were conventions and certainly LARPing and stuff like that. But yeah, it was mostly them locked in. The whole joke was it was destroying their lives, but they still loved it, and they tried to have families and children. Were they just they didn't do anything that they should do. It was pretty funny. It was very lo-fi, but it was pretty great. Okay. Pretty great.
Look, we're going to start a casting call for this new show.
There we go.
Name is TBD. Because look, I've pitched this to Elise. She doesn't really understand because she didn't grow up watching professional wrestling. But I firmly believe that the Real Housewives is the professional wrestling for Bravo and for people who like reality TV. But I mean, that's all it is. You just need to cast some problematic people who are ready to fight and watch them go. Come on, get Andy Cohen on the phone. Let's do this.
Pro wrestling meets Housewives meets The Office meets.
Oh man,
I'm down. We're gonna make so many tens of dollars,
so many dimes,
dozens of dollars.
Digital Twisted. I cast Thunder Mifflin at
Nice. Thunder Mifflin wave.
That is a good question. Is there PvP in Baldur's Gate 3?
No.
I mean, has anybody ever tried?
Attack.
What happens if you?
I mean, you'd have to track your own party, right?
Right. That's my question. Is has anybody tried?
Right.
I'm sure people have tried.
I guess. Well, I guess maybe I'm not the asshole because I have not tried to attack my own party.
I've never
prove you're not the asshole.
Friendly fire. Okay,
I've never actively followed any BG3 content, but it is forever. And I guess just that I'm adjacent enough to it that I constantly am suggested posts from various BG3 groups, and people are always talking about their evil alignment run throughs and murder hoboing their party. So I'm positive.
Okay. Yeah.
I've dropped a fireball on some of my people before.
Yeah.
Not
The
intentionally.
only time I had an issue was when you first meet Halcyon, and I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but I accidentally did an oops, and he started fighting him, and I was trying to be like, no, I want to be a friend. So then I was killing all the baddies that were around, and then because I wanted him in my party, and I wanted him in my party, and I couldn't. We were just fighting, and I eventually had to I got really sad, like genuinely sad, and I had to reload because I couldn't.
I think that I have. You know how like the game will give you like warning if you go past this point, it'll like close up other storylines.
Yeah.
I've done that recently, and I think Halcyon's been in my camp forever, but I can't get him to join my party. I think I accidentally closed off his storyline.
Oh no!
And part of me is like, I think I'm just gonna have to go back to the beginning because like I really want Halcyon in my party. I love him.
Yeah.
But I think I didn't find Daniel.
I know what you need to,
or Daniel, or whatever his name is. Please tell me.
But
I can't.
You're onto it.
No, but I've tried. Like I can't. Like it won't let me. Like I've tried every Google and like hack and figure it, and like I've passed that point based on something I think you may not have gotten to yet, and so like there's no way to get that story back into my storyline.
Pretty far. I'm pretty far along.
Yeah, that's
honey.
True. Well, please tell me because I want Halcyon.
PvP. I just had to do that too. I had to back up because I completed this thing and it inadvertently killed lots of other people. And I was like, wait, what?
Wait, shit.
Oops.
What? Yeah. I did I did for the first time. Like every time in the game, I've reached a point. And it's like, warning, this is the point of no return, and it gives you the option. I did just reach a point. I've reached a point in the game where I tried, and it was like, you can't. Like, we know you found the entrance to this next part of the game, and we will not allow you to play it. But I'm like, but I have nothing else to do. There's one final battle I have to do, but I'm not high enough level to win it, and I'm just stuck in a never-ending death loop of it. From PvP to BG3, everybody.
Well, speaking of
titties,
Matt and I are hopefully going to be playing more Naked BG3 soon.
Yeah. When
you guys were playing together, could you fight each other?
I don't.
You know what?
We'll
test that next time.
You're gonna find out.
We'll test it next time.
Look forward to that.
I want to join. I want to join.
I want into Naked BG3. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And brother, I want to play Tiny Tina's Wonderland again.
Yes. I know there's PvP in that. There's got to be. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a game I want to play too.
We need to go back and highlight a comment
Ashley
that Tay
Birch
left us that we didn't give enough air. There is PvP, but the P doesn't stand for what you think it stands for. Well done, sir.
Nice.
And that's it. That's the show.
Sword.
That's it. That's
sword
the show.
Play.
Yes.
That's the tip.
Phone home.
Well, actually, I was gonna kind of tie together real quick. I was just gonna say the thing that you said, Allison, about BG3 getting to a point and saying this is the point of no return. I feel personally that as a party and a GM, when you are in a situation PvP and people want it, but the majority rules and the majority does not. I think you're allowed to say, okay, we're doing this, but this is the point of no return. If you do this,
and you die,
you're done. Goodbye, and you're done, and you're out. Like, I think give your friends what they want to a point, but don't do it if it makes you upset, right? If it makes other people upset, that's just being people.
Be nice,
we've learned from Ghost, communication is key. We've learned
the most metal lyrics of all time.
The most metal lyrics of all time.
Stop doing it. There it goes. So metal, like my light show.
Sorry, I interrupted your stream of thoughts.
You did, just because then it made me think that there's a line in 20s, which is the only Ghost song that I actually have a visceral bad reaction to. That's even worse. Grab 'em by the hoo-ha. You're a metal band. I'm not going to say it on our stream because
PvP.
Yeah.
Grab 'em by the PvP. Grab 'em by the PvP. Okay.
Yeah.
Hoo-ha.
Really?
Anyway,
I know. We lost respect for you, Tobias.
I really did. Consent, conversation, ground rules. Have a DM that's present and adjudicates. You know, let's just not be assholes.
Get off your phone, GM.
Inaction is action. It comes down to that. And so the people who are like, I'm just going to sit here and do nothing. You're doing something, and it's not
Rush
good.
wrote a song about that, AK. I don't know if you're familiar with that song.
I'm not. I'm not up on my Rush back catalog. And once again, Kai is here to close us all off with what we all need to remember. Consent is key. Communication is key. Walk is extra.
Kai, you are so awesome.
And Drew says we'll riot for guac. Guac or queso? I'll see y'all in the Thunderdome.
Okay. Let's find some good. Let's get some extra guac in at Gen Con this year.
Guac.
Okay.
All right.
Which one of you did that?
Who did that?
Who did
that?
We'll see y'all next week.
You broke yourself. Thanks, everybody.
Get out of here.
Please like the stream.
Please like.